Jamie Warner and Joe Rosenberg here at Raindance at TIFF Industry Party 2013. Joe, can you tell me a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure. I came up through the Hollywood agency business system. I was an agent for 25 years. I represented writers, directors, and producers. Primarily, I spent my time at a company called CAA, Creative Artists Agency. And my specialty was representing filmmakers both in the independent world as well as filmmakers that work primarily in the studio system. I currently teach at UCLA in both the professional and graduate program, and I do some consulting work in the film and television space.
So Joe, because you've had the unique experience of having the opportunity to work with independent filmmakers and those who come up through the Hollywood studio system, can you tell me what's the difference in vibe between the two, or is there one?
I'm not sure it's a matter of there being a difference. It's really project-based. In other words, there are filmmakers that work within the confines of the Hollywood studio system that have an independent spirit, and there are those that are what I would call directors for hire. That said, mostly every director working in what I'll call the independent space, they have a certain frame of mind. It's a certain way of being. It's a certain way that they approach their projects. Not all are writer-directors, but a large group of them are. But what I would say is that in Hollywood, in LA, you're starting to see a mix of people making sort of independent films for the studios. And that may be having a film independently financed and having Hollywood distribute it, and or working for companies like Focus and Fox Searchlight, both of which are owned by major corporations, major studios.
So tonight you had the opportunity to come out to our party, see some of the Raindance members and some of the industry people that are here for the Toronto International Film Festival. What can you tell me about the community that you've met tonight and what the feeling is? Do you think that you're getting that independent spirit through the Hollywood system, vice versa, or something in between?
Well, firstly, the energy up here is terrific. You can feel it just walking the streets. There's something sort of youthful about it. There's something optimistic about it. I think this is a rare festival in that it's primarily a festival, and yet there's a part of it that's a marketplace as well. It's very unique, and it's also situated at a great time of year, because this is sort of the time of year traditionally when these sort of more serious films start coming out as we get closer to end of year and the nominations. It's a great feeling. I mean, the streets are teeming with people and everybody feels upbeat, and it's good to be a part of. It's infectious.
So Joe, you had the opportunity to check out our submissions because you're a judge for our Raindance at TIFF and Indiegogo pitch competition. So tell me a bit about the submissions that you checked out that, without giving anything away, that really struck you, and that what made them really strike you about our community, our Raindance community.
Well, what I found was several were really unique in that vein of, I haven't seen that before. For example, there was one where the use of puppetry was going to be used, and I thought that the presentation was clean. You got a real sense of the idea. I hadn't seen that before. Ditto, there was a young gal that wanted to make a 1-minute silent film about the pros and cons of fertility, and a couple struggling with that, and I thought, wow, if she could tell that story in 1 minute using no dialogue, I'd want to see that. I'd be curious about that. And there too, the pitch was sort of letter perfect. It was so clear, so concise. I got the idea. I didn't have any questions. It was more or less, okay, I get it. And what I liked was the uniqueness of certain ideas that I saw.
That's fantastic. So parting words, what advice would you give for independent filmmakers who are new to the industry, who are trying to develop their craft here in Toronto?
Well, firstly, I think it's a great time. There couldn't be a better time. There are always going to be the naysayers that say, it used to be better when, but I have actually the opposite attitude. I think it's a great time now for young filmmakers. And if you look at the quality of movies that are coming out of the independent space, it's incredible. I mean, whether it's 12 Years a Slave, which is coming out of Toronto, or recent films I've seen, including The Grand Master or The Spectacular Now, there couldn't be a better time. And I think you look at the quality of the screenplays, the actors that are in these parts, and the young filmmakers that are coming up. And what I would say to everybody in Toronto is you can do it. You can make films for a world audience, irrespective of where you live. Don't let that be a barrier. So I'm actually feeling very optimistic, and I think Raindance is a great organization in that it promotes that independent spirit. It's not unlike Film Independent in Los Angeles. And there was a time when it was new and young, and the Spirit Awards have become the place to be. So I'm encouraged.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you.
Joe Rosenberg, Jamie Warner here at Raindance at TIFF 2013. It's the place to be.